Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we are back in the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, this time for the female Hrothgar. They are coming along with Dawntrail and you can, as of right now, actually make yourself a character. There were a couple of other changes to the character creation system. Most of them come in the form of model updates, new texture work, some changes to some of the faces and so on and so forth. I'll do a full video covering everything closer to the release of Dawntrail, but for now, female Hrothgar. Much like the introduction of the male Viera, these came after the initial implementation of the race. So people have been waiting for this for quite some time, and with this we actually have a full roster of races and genders. It's cool. It's cool. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Final Fantasy XIV and Dawntrail and all the rest, you can find some links below, and as always there will be timestamps. Now, as we jump in here, I am just going to say that in this character creation system, you can change the pose of your character over here. These are things that I might not be doing all that much while I work through the different options. You can just see different animations on your character, and specifically with the female Hrothgar, some of these poses, like that one, as an example, are quite flattering. They show off the muscularity quite nicely. So it's worthwhile just checking that out. You can also remove their clothes, put them in the small clothes, which is good if you want to customize the body a little bit. And then you can change the environment that you're customizing in to a bunch of different possible locations. And they give you different lighting, and they basically allow you to see your character as it would be in the game world, which is important. You don't want to have that shock of stepping into the sun for the first time and having your character look like something completely different. Believe me when I say it's a possibility. So, we're going to jump in. I'm going to do the introduction for the Hrothgar and their tribes. I'm going to show you all the customization options available. Then I will randomize a bit, and you can skip to that if you'd like to, because I do believe the randomization is a fantastic show of like what's available on Hrothgar. So if you skip to that, you'll get a good look at what you can do. I'll do randomization on both the different tribes that they have, the clans, so you can see that. And at the end, there will be some outfits for the different jobs, the different stuff that you get in the game, some of the slightly more pay-to-win stuff. You'll basically be able to see the outfits on the female Hrothgar as well. So that's the plan. Now, without further delays, let us jump in. Hrothgar. Hailing from the distant shores of Ilsabard, the Hrothgar are a burly people of lion-like appearance. Or the males are, at least. Females number staggeringly few among their population, and thus are rarely so much as glimpsed by other races. This is obviously the reason we've only just had them introduced, right? Right. The Hrothgar's imposing countenance, mitigated not at all by their sharp claws and still sharper fangs, incited panic among Eorzeans upon their arrival. As they were also unable to communicate, initial interactions with the common folk often escalated into conflict. It was not until the Hrothgar gained mastery of the common tongue that fears were allayed, and in time they would be as neighbors, welcome in all corners of the realm. Yeah, that's the Hrothgar. That's what the females look like, and we're going to customize this right now. The males, in case you forgot, they look a little more bestial, you know? They've got the lion-like look nailed down. I do think that the female model that they've implemented here looks pretty great though, and I love the amount of muscles. The shape of the body is cool, and I like that it's more of a commitment to being an animal along with being like a humanoid. Unlike the Mikute, where it's just like a human or an elf with some cat ears stuck on, you know? I prefer this. So, let's jump in and have a look at the clans. Your two choices are Helions and Lost. Helions have traditionally been content to reside in southern Ilsabard with their respective tribes, devout servants to their queens, one and all, and thus, they've only but recently begun to make their presence felt throughout the remainder of the three continents. Though these Hrothgar initially had no word to describe themselves, scholars soon came to call them Helions, after observing how their lives all but revolved around their queen's needs as planets circle the sun. Then we have the Lost. I personally prefer the way the Lost look, and I also prefer their story. Unlike their Helion brethren, the Lost are unbound by the whims of any reigning monarch, having long since found themselves bereft of the warm radiance of their queen. Most find that a nomadic lifestyle best suits their situation, and are known to ply various trades that align with their propensity to travel. Seasonal laborer, mercenary, and peddler among them. Now, as we are here on the clan selection screen, I'm going to say that there are some differences. So, specifically, if you jump in on the Helions, you are going to be working with warmer tones for your skin and fur. You are going to have the browns, the reds, I think there are even some pinks in here. You will just have a different selection compared to the Lost, which have the cooler tones and more lighter colors, like the white that you see here. The faces, the hair, and pretty much all the other stuff is the same across the board, but you are still sort of jumping into this specific clan or that specific clan. Now, I will, when I randomize closer to the end of the video, do it on both of them so you can see some examples on both, and that'll give you a good look at them. But for the purposes of the video and the customization and everything right now, I'm going to jump in on Helions. I'm going to show you what's available, and then I'll just jump back onto the Lost to show you the different skin tones and stuff like that, then jump back onto the Helions again and show you the rest. It's a little back and forth, but this is how it's going to be if you want to make one of these characters, because let me just tell you, this was not an easy one to record for me. I've failed a couple of times just because of so many different and hidden options that they have in here, which is great if you're looking to spend some time in here, but it's not so great if you're looking to show everything off. First up, the height. They can be pretty tall, and they can be pretty short. It's like they're somewhere in the middle with the races, like they are shorter than the Elysian as far as I understand, but they are taller obviously than most of the humans except the Highlanders. It's a weird sitch. They're tall, they're big, but they're more so burly than tall, which is amazing. The bust size, let's take the clothes off quickly so I can show you. Not as busty as I think most internet dwellers would like, but I think it's more than enough, and given the proportions of the rest of their body, it just makes sense. It's good. It's a good fit. There you go. I hope you've had your fill. Let's move on. The tail shape. Nice tails. It's like they've got the lion tails, they've got the cat tails, and that's it. And then you can change the tail length. There you go. Now the faces. This is where stuff gets interesting. So I'm going to be doing, once again, a little back and forth here because it's a weird system. The way this works is each face has 5 hairstyles on it that you can sort of look at. And then each face also has a few different features that they can put on and a few different tattoos that they can put on. Right? So basically, you're going to want to go back and forth. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, you guessed it. I'm going to go back and forth. It's going to be a little messy. Let's start with this face. It's a nice little cat face, kind of cute. I like the lines that they have. I'm not going to do the skin color yet, as I mentioned, but the hairstyles, I think that there's one that's shared across all of them, and it's this last one. But the hairstyles are unique. So, like, you'll see, you got this long hairstyle here with some braids in. Then you got the long one with basically a bit more volume, especially at the front, a little bit hanging along the front there. Then there's the shorter braided one with the braids on the side over here. Another one with braids on the side, but a ponytail. And then finally the slightly shorter one with the small tail at the back. It's cool. It's a goodish selection, but then I'm going to go back first and show you how this looks. So I'm going to say that the ears and the stuff that are extra here, they come along with the face, but I'm now going to show you the differences in the hairstyles again. Just want to keep the hair fresh in your mind while I show it to you, then we'll do the same with the features and the same with the tattoos. So again, different. Sort of, I think this is sort of similar to some of the Vieira styles. Nice, loose hair. And this is the same loose hair, but with one braid on the side here. That's a shorter loose hair style. Another short loose hair style. This one has the fringe on the front. And then finally that same one that's shared across all of them. So technically they only have 4 each, I suppose. Next face. This is a really cool face. Like, this is fantastic. I love this. These spikes all over it. So cool. Let's look at the hair on here quickly. They have probably the most interesting hairstyles with a fringe and the bangs at the front. Well, I don't know what the difference is. Okay, it's actually all the same. But like with this middle part and then the fringe there, I'm not sure how they even do that. It looks like it's extensions stuck on here or something like that. It's kind of weird. This is a fantastic style. A sort of blown back look, but with one braid in there. And then you have the same blown back look with one braid and one strand hanging in the face. And then finally you have this one again. Right. Back to the faces. The final one. This one has some really cool markings and stuff. This one I think has more short styles. So you'll notice as we go through here, same style once again. Little bald patch over there. It's kind of weird. But they have braids on this one. And then you have a... Oh, that's a nice long ponytail. That's like nice and thick, dude. That's good hair. That's really good hair. And then there you go. The final one. So that's it for the hair. It's a strange system that they use in, because the males obviously have a different system where they have all the faces with just every hairstyle on each of them. So they sort of wanted to tailor each style to every face here specifically. Now I'm going to show you the facial features. So this is different once again for every face. Here you can make the ears pointy. You can add some extra eyeliner. Then you can add some whiskers on the eyebrows and on the face itself, on the snooty here. And then you can add this gem. Very cool. Like the whiskers, I feel like this is some of the nicest stuff that they've done in the character creator thus far, because it's just great work. Like the modeling on this is nice, nice texture work. They look good. They're well implemented. Okay, so then back over here, these facial features, fluffy ears, eyeliner under the eye, the top of the eye, more. That's the eyelashes, I think. And then those are eyebrows. Right? Next face. These are the most interesting ones. Here you can choose to have extra curly tips. You can have hair in the ears, which I kind of like. And you can have basically the eyelashes at the bottom. Eyeliner at the bottom. And then... this one's good. This is the really cool mustache that the males have. The one male face has this, and I'm so glad to see that they put this in on the females as well. It's just like, it's iconic, you know? At this point, it's iconic. It's iconic. So I love that they put that in there. This is my favorite face anyway. These markings and stuff, you'll see them in a minute when we go to the tattoos. So, the final face, these ones for facial features, they have fluffy ears once again, that one earring. Then they have some markings. I actually have to take the tattoos off quickly to show you the markings. There you go. That's at the bottom of the eye. Bottom of the eye again. Eyebrows. Oh, I didn't really have to take it off, did I? Right. Okay, that's it for the facial features. Now we're going to move on to the... because I'm showing you all the face stuff now. It's just the easiest thing. We'll go through all of it again. You'll see. But now we're going to do the tattoos. Not much of a tattoo, but you can change the color on this. So those spots there, you can change the color, and these are the colors available. I'm going to go through this quite rapidly just so that I can come through here again and show it in slightly more detail. But basically, you're going to want to sort of pick these and fiddle with these based on the other choices that you make with specifically colors in mind. Second face, tattoos. These allow for even more cool customization, and you can once again change the color on these, as you can see there. Next one. These are the most interesting ones, as I mentioned. You get to put spikes on top and at the bottom. Dragonflight. World of Warcraft, Dragonflight. They had spikes like this on some of the Drakthir. Baldur's Gate, as far as I understand, also had some spikes like this. Kind of cool. They look really nice. It's a nice addition, and I think that it suits the race quite nicely too. And yes, as with the others, you can change the colors. There are some really cool looks that you can make with this. There's a lot of cool customization that's available. Then the final face, these guys, you've seen their tattoos already. It's basically that one and that one. And the preview you can see there is white, so that's what it looks like, white. Nice tattoos. They look decent. They look decent. Unlike the face paint, when we get to that, the texture work on here is actually relatively good. So, yeah. For the purposes of the customization here, let's take... I don't think it really matters. I like this face, but I'm going to take the tattoos off so that we can look at the colors and stuff properly. That's good. So now we're finally done with the faces and all the different stuff that comes along with them. Now we're going to move on to skin color, and we're going to jump back and forth again. What I want to show you first is all the different skin colors that you get on the Lost here, right? I'm not sure if the fur color specifically is different on... well, this is the Helions. On the Helions versus the Lost. So what I'm going to do is we first look at the skin colors here, and then we'll jump back and look at the skin colors on the other ones. This is probably your most impactful choice, just because of how big a difference it makes. You're going to see here at the top, they've got like every shade of brown that ever existed. And it's good. It's nice. It's basically just sticking with what they want you to do with this race and how the race works. But you can see that they actually go through some very interesting colors here. And then they actually also get access to these slightly yellowy tones and greeny tones as well, where you can make sort of like an orc, which is really cool. I like that. With a little contrast there, like with either black or white combined with it, it's actually really nice. And speaking of really nice, pink. Yeah, you can make a pink one. I also think that the whole pink marshmallow, like pink and white look, can be kind of nice here too. Pink and black also obviously looks fantastic, and then even more brown at the bottom here, with the darkest one being that. Now I'm going to jump back quickly, and I'm going to pick the Lost, and I'm just going to show you the colors on there, because there's a big difference. Here's the skin tones on the Lost. As you can see, it's super pale comparatively. You can go very light on the skin tone, and then you can also go quite dark. Like the darker colors here are like way darker. If you look at that, it's quite a lot darker than the brown we had before. And again, it's cool tones where you have grays, whites, and you'll see you go into like the blues here. There are some purples down low, which I think it's kind of a difficult thing to put purple. You don't know if it goes in the warm or the cooler tones, but there are decent selections here. You've even got some slightly green here, but like this is more of like a pine green than the swamp green that they had, or like the orc green that they had on the other one. So again, fantastic selection here. Where I do feel the more impactful ones are the lighter skin tones, right? Now the fur colors, yeah, so it seems to me like the fur colors are mostly the same, but I'll show you these quickly, and then we'll move on the Helions again, and I'll show you how they look there. Basically, you've got a pattern here that you can put on the fur, and they both have the same patterns. You can change the pattern color, or you can remove it and not use it at all. For right now, I'm just going to show you these fur colors quickly, and you can see how you can actually have some seriously cool contrast here, and you can do some cool stuff with it. Again, I'm going to go over to the Helions right after this, and I'll show you what's available there, and you'll just be able to compare it, basically, and see, you know, if there is what you're looking for there. And then the pattern colors, as I mentioned, I think these are the same, but I'm not sure. I'm going to jump over there right now. There's a decent selection here once again, and they have like all the browns, the sort of almost reds, the pinks, the greens. It's a good number of options, right? So now I'm going to go back quickly. I'm going to go back on the Helions, and I'm going to peek at this. So the fur colors, we didn't look at that. We look at the skin colors. For this video, I will take what they give us here, and I'll just go with that, and then I will. And we'll look at the hair in a moment as well, because you can see that actually changes with this. But the fur colors, let's peek. Yeah, so it is actually different. They have different fur colors here. They do have the same white, but you may have noticed then that the fur on the Lost, there was like a blue line in here. There was some more purple stuff. There's some other options there. But again, as you saw, lots of this obviously depends on what you want your hair color to be. So if you take that off quickly, you can look at it more completely. A lot of it depends on what you want your hair color to be, and they do once again go pretty light and pretty dark with this. Slightly more boring on the Helions, but I mean, you're going for more of the lore-friendly look again for the Helions, where all of it does end up being a little more brown across the board. It's just what you expect, basically, right? And then the pattern color, this is the same, for 100% sure. Like, this is the same as the ones on the other ones. So what I'll do for this is I'll just pick the white one for now, and I'll just show you the different patterns. These are your standard fair patterns, where you've got the tigers, the jaguars, the cheetah prints, all that stuff. You can see it goes down the body on the side there. Then you've got some stripes, and you've got like a weird... It actually almost looks like a tribal tattoo of some sort, or whatever. They're okay. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the patterns, but I do think you can do some cool stuff with them if you mix and match the colors nicely. Then, moving on, jaw shapes. This will obviously depend a little bit on the face that you have. It's not much different from face to face. The idea is the same, where you have slightly bigger ones, slightly sharper ones, and so on and so forth. Eye shapes also, again, sort of a little different for every face, but not much. They don't change all that much. I feel like this is probably your number one for like the mood of the character, where you can make her look slightly more serious, or I'm not going to say sinister, but you can also make her look a little more innocent by changing the eyes with that downwards angle, having them a little more rounded, and so on and so forth. Iris size barely does anything. Also, have to say it again, depends on the face you have, but it barely does anything. It's a teeny weeny little change. Eye color, there are decent eye colors here. Once again, I do think for these specific options, they are the same, both Helion and Lost. But Final Fantasy has never had, for most races at least, fantastic looking eye colors. I believe, like some of the races, as an example, the Dunesfolk Lalafell, which have the nice glazed over eyes, they have really bright colors in their eyes. But these ones, there's this reflection and this slightly realistic look to the eyes that makes that the color doesn't always shine through that nicely. You can do heterochromia, so if you want to go one dark, one light, you can do that. It's kind of fun. It's nice, you know, if that's your thing. But overall, yeah, I'm never really impressed by the eyes in Final Fantasy. Eyebrows. This is a weird situation where if you don't really have eyebrows, it's mostly just changing the shape of your brow, which can once again alter the mood of your character a little bit, but it doesn't really do all that much. Nose. Important. This is important. And it's something where if you look in from the front, you won't really get the full effect of it. You'd need to look from the side. And these ladies have some pretty big schnauzers, but they do look good overall. Fang length. Probably the nicest option here, just because I love the little toofers. You can go nothing at all. You can go a little longer, or you can go the longest. You gotta go the longest, right? Then the facial features we've already looked at the start when we did the face stuff. All of them have their different options here. I personally like some of them. You know, it's kind of nice putting the extras on. Tattoos, we've once again also had a look at already. And the tattoo color, same. Face paint. This is the same for both Helion and Lost. And, you know, I don't like it. There are some options here that are okay, but Final Fantasy has historically just been pretty bad with this. Their texture work has not improved over the years. There are a few here that look better, but most of them look pretty average at best. You will immediately notice which ones are like newer and better. My firm belief is that the more war painty styles, they've been done better and they look better overall, like these ones for instance. And basically all of the stuff down from this point on, it all looks better because it's more clear, it's more defined, there's no small details there. You can do a dirty face if you want, you can do these big eyebrows, and you can do the celestial freckles, which I usually pick. Then you can also reverse them, which just flips the side. Yeah, it's alright. Finally, you can do light or dark. You can basically make it half opacity or full opacity. And let me pick one of these ones to just show you the colors quickly. There you go. The colors are good. Like, they are pretty decent. They have a good selection here. They've got basically all the important colors. So, that's good. There you go. Although for me, again, white and black are the two, like, they're the two main ones, usually. There you go. Now, our final options. Voice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use cheer. And I'm going to go through all the voices. I hope that's enough. They're okay. There are some really nice ones here, and there'll be more than enough for you to work with. Just keep in mind your character doesn't talk. It's just a bunch of grunts and groans and shouts and screams and whatever. So I'll stop talking quickly and go through these. Yeah, it's a good selection. I like it. Decent number of voices. And that does bring us to the end. So what we're going to do now is we're going to randomize on the Helions first, then I'll randomize on the Lost, and then I'll show you the outfits that are available just as previews. You even get to see a Viper outfit from the new class. So, randomize. Let's go to this one so we can see the full body. And let's have a look. There's actually a huge amount that can change here, and I dig it. They show you a massively good selection of everything that's on offer. Like, they don't hold back. It kind of annoys me sometimes when these character creation systems just omit certain options from randomization because they fear it might make things look too wacky, you know? Like this one, for instance. That's an interesting design. With this, they let it all just run free. All the different colors, all the different options, everything. So, again, it gives you a good idea of all that's available on these characters. After all this time that I've sort of been in and out of Final Fantasy, I will say the one thing that I wish we could do a little more of is customize the bodies of the characters, but I do understand why that's not an option. A little bit of control over the body would be kind of cool, but at least we get to do the height, you know, that's something at least. There you go, however. That is a good look at the Helions. Now we're going to jump back quickly, and we're going to have a look at the Lost. They are a little different. You'll see the colors and stuff like that. All the cooler tones. The whites, the pale greens, the blues, the blacks. Very cool. They even do the heterochromia, as you can see. Very, very cool. Yeah, I think we're going to see a large amount of black and white kitties. That's gonna be like the norm, right? I think that's probably gonna be the go-to. That and pink. Because I feel, honestly, that the white skin / fur tone is like, it's really, really nice. It's just eye-catching. I mean, I even made one of those for the thumbnail, just because I thought, hey, it's really cool. But it's going to be one of those races where if you really know what you're doing with the different colors and combinations and stuff, you can probably make something really, really cool. Like something really good, something that would look way better. But I do believe we're going to see a lot of white and black and white. Alright, so with that finished, let me show you the outfits. We have to go back a little. Here is the character I made. And on this character, I can have a look at the different outfits available. It's kind of nice. And you can obviously then with this character do the benchmark and stuff like that. See it in motion. That's the job-specific gear for the Viper. That's the racial gear. And then you have like just a massive selection here of different gear that's already in the game. And a lot of this, if you played Final Fantasy at any point, looks really cool. You'll know it. It'll look familiar to you. The one thing that stands out to me on the female Hrothgar is just how good the body shape is. In my opinion, you know, if I wasn't stuck forever on Lalafell female, which I am, this is the coolest body shape. It's the best body shape in the game at the moment. They've got nice broad shoulders. They've got nice big muscles. It's all just together, man. It's a good look. It's a really good look. And for Hrothgar, yeah, it makes sense. So much sense. Then you even have some of the pay-to-win outfits here. it's kind of weird, the pay-to-win ones. I don't know. I don't know if it's just pay-to-win. I mean, some of them aren't. But see, some of these are store outfits. Some of them are like sub outfits. You know, it's like Leonhardt, Snow, Noctis's outfit is here as well. There's the twins. Here's the Noctis outfit. She fills them out beautifully. Like, really, really beautifully. That's really cool, by the way. Then you've even got the swine suit. For whatever reason, you've got that there as well. So, there you go. That's it. That's it. Female Hrothgar. Character creation and customization for Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. They're sick. They are a really nice addition to an already stacked roster. I'd love to hear from you guys what you think. if it is all you ever desired from them. I have seen a few people talking about the fact that they look so much more humanoid than the male counterparts, but I think it makes sense. And they managed to, in my opinion, do a really good job with their body shape and overall look and feel. I think it's just great. It's great. It's great. So yeah, I mean, I have nothing but positive things to say about this. And the quality of the models and stuff like that's top notch, as you'd expect. Yeah, I like it. So you can, as always, check back here soon for more. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. You can find my links below, my Ko-fi page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more videos like this. If you are jumping into Dawntrail, if you are jumping around the character creation system until then, enjoy. Happy that.